welcome back to Jima Garden. Today is the first official video that's going to be published on the channel that isn't the introduction. We're going to do a quick plant tour of my plant room. The plant room has about 40 plants in it, and my whole collection is just over 90. So we're going to talk about the plants I have in here, the care they're receiving, my current favorites, and then the ones that are currently struggling and what I'm going to do to make them not struggle. After that, we're going to move back out to the dining room and we're going to do a couple of repotting. Here in my plant room. My plant room also doubles as the guest bedroom, so it's really multi-purpose, and instead of just cramming a bunch of plants in here, I tried to make it as aesthetically pleasing as possible, so if we have a guest stay over, they don't feel like they're totally swamped with plants. Not sure if I achieved that. They probably feel swamped with plants anyways, but whatever. I have two of these beautiful begonia maculatas. One is in leca. This other begonia in soil that is absolutely massive. I need to extend or get a taller pole for it, but pushing out new leaves all the time. I frequently use my own plant potion on my begonias. And then number 3, what, 47 or 37 to go? My Caladium Florida Moonlight. I grew these from bulbs. I do have it in a chunky mix, and it's about 8 feet from the south facing window and has a couple little babies growing out, which is super exciting. And then my Syngonium Red Arrow is currently just in water. I'm going to be transferring it to soil here soon. And I got this cute crane glassware, but I have this whole shelf off to the side filled with soil mix ingredients and sphagnum moss and my watering cans. Yeah, it's not super aesthetically pleasing, but I do have all of that in the corner. We are going to transition slowly this way. The super depressing Monstera Esqueleto. She was beautiful and full and huge, and I got her on, obviously this isn't how she looks now, but I got her on discount locally for less than $50. I put it outside and it had been battered with gale force winds and ripped off half of the growth. A couple things that I did to help get some of the growth back, and the current growth just really got beat up, so it is not doing great, but I did use some Kaiki, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, cloning paste on each of the nodes. I used quite a bit of it. I have not seen much success with the cloning paste, but it has so many good reviews, and I have friends that aren't influencers. I hope that didn't sound shady. I just mean, like, I have friends that don't have like hundreds of thousands of followers telling me that they've had success with the cloning paste, and so I really trust their judgment, and I'm trying it for myself. So we'll see. I do notice that there's like a little new leaf coming through. It's hard to tell. I don't know if you can see that. A little one coming through right there, and that's also where I put the cloning paste, so maybe it's gonna work. I will keep you guys updated. I'm really hoping that by the end of the spring, because Okinawa has some really mild winters, I'm hoping that by the end of the spring we'll have better growth and maybe we can get it back up to where it was. If not, I'm going to chop her up into pieces and propagate like crazy. But for now, I'm basically saying a Hail Mary and hope that it works out, and kicking myself for not checking the wind before it got absolutely shredded. It's not plant related, but here on the bed is the book that I'm currently reading. In 2023, I'm going to try and read 30 books. So this might be the last book of December and the first book of January. I'm only on page 5 so far. I really enjoy it. Actually, still not plant related, but I'm gonna show you my January hopefuls. I don't know. I'm not a book influencer. And this is everything I'm hoping to read in January. Let's talk about plants again. Okay, so we've had to have a little bit of a lighting change just because I didn't realize there was no outlet on this wall. So I'll just take some plants down off the shelf and we'll talk about it. First is my pecans. It is growing so well. I have it hanging in the south facing window. Has a bunch of new babies coming in right there. She's also in a chunky mix. My Syngonium Milk Confetti. I found this hidden within some of the pink Syngoniums and it was only, I don't remember how much it was, but it was under $10, which blew my mind because these can get pretty pricey. It is growing a lot slower than I want it to, but that's okay. We all grow in our own time. And then this disco ball planter I'll have linked below. I absolutely love the way that it just adds shimmer to the room and like it really elevates golden hour. This is my Syngonium Albo. She's also in the same corner as the Alocasia Amazonica. I would really like for her variegation to be much more pronounced, but this new leaf coming in looks like it has a little bit more white. Same with this little baby at the bottom. So when it comes to improving variegation, the biggest factor is lighting. Another factor is genetics. So basically I'm just waiting this one out patiently for the variegation to start improving. Okay, now here's my slowest growing pothos. It is my Snow Queen pothos. She is so pretty, I absolutely love it. She is starting to latch onto the moss pole, but she is taking her sweet time. Oh my gosh, look at how nice the variegation is on these leaves, and look at that chunk. That's nice. It's so weird that I like the smell of the moss poles. Just smells like earthy. Is this number 11? I think it's number 11. This is one of the disco planters that I actually make for Gima Garden. I only sell on Island right now, but as soon as I open up orders off of Island, I'll let you know. But this is a plant cover and inside is just my fishbone cactus propagation. The roots, I saw them the other day. Where are they? Oh yeah, you can see the roots a little bit right here at the bottom. I should probably change out its water. But another exciting thing is this new growth coming in. I don't know if you can see that. And right here. Can you see that one? Yeah. And right here, a third one. Sorry, I didn't actually, I hadn't noticed that one yet. How exciting. But this was propagated off of the mother plant, and these metal plant stakes are also made in Gima Garden. I have them in blue and aqua, and they're currently in circle shape, as you can see. Heart shape and a squiggle. I'm working on like an abstract hibiscus, but it is not ready to share yet. But isn't this so fun? Maybe by the time we PCS, I can get it to flower. Maybe not this one, but like the mother plant. I just got whacked in the face. Okay, we had to have a third lighting change, but that's okay. So let's dive back into the plants. So this is my little propagation station. This is a Shisa dog that I found off base at a thrift store. I don't know what it was supposed to be originally. I tried to make it a planter when I first got it, but because of the open mouth, it just was not working out. You know, water and soil and everything would pour out. So I cleaned it out, and now I have 2 little jars in here with propagations. I have a Hoya Silver Splash propagation, which I might actually give to one of my clients because Hoyas love her space. Her Hoyas are always in bloom, they are rapidly growing, and to be completely honest, for whatever reason, this Hoya Silver Splash is not living its best life. I mean, it's perfectly fine, it's healthy, but it's not growing the way that I want it to, and I feel like it would just be happier in a space where I already know Hoyas are living their best lives. And then I have this cute Monstera Peru, and I can't wait for it to get bigger. But for now, they're in this cute little propagation station. I don't even know what number we're on right now. Maybe I'll count when I'm editing and do like a pop-up number. But this is my philodendron Birkin. I recently took a pretty big propagation off the top, so it looks a little bit bare right now, but it has a bunch of new growth coming in. This planter was gifted to me for my birthday from my sister. It is pretty heavy, but it is absolutely so cute. It works perfectly in a boho space. Yeah, I'll see if I can find the link again and send it. Also, there is a drainage hole. Always a bonus. I have a whole shelf. The whole second shelf is filled with plants that are sold in the Gima Garden shop. So I might not remove all there's like a ton of little ones, but if you saw the pan over, you probably saw them. I have Philodendron Painted Lady, Philodendron Silver Sword, some Manjula Pothos, Syndapsis. Actually, I'm gonna show you the Painted Lady right now. Look at how cute she is. No one has bought her yet, obviously, because she's on my plant shelf, on my inventory shelf on the plant shelf. But she's so cute, and the mother plant outside is absolutely thriving. There's even a new leaf going on right there. So if you live in Okinawa and you want to claim this cutie, I mean, look at that. I feel like I'm doing a makeup video, like where they put their hands behind, but I don't know. What am I doing? Can you see that coloration? Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. That's gorgeous. Here's another one. The leaves are just not growing in as big as this large one, but I did have to move it inside, so it's getting less humidity, less sun, and the temperature snow change, so I'm not too worried. As I picked up the Jose Buono, because now there's soil all over the counter. But this is the Jose Buono. It has grown so much in just a few short months. It is starting to hold on to the moss pole down in there. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show that. But the coloration is absolutely gorgeous. And I'll share an update. I mean, I'll share an update on all the plants, but especially on this one because I think this might be a top 5 favorite in my collection. So this is my Syndapsis exotica, and of course cover in a plastic liner and then inside the planter, but it's just a really cute plant cover. This is actually one of the very first ones that I created for Gima Garden, and I loved it so much that I kept it for myself. And now she just sits on the bottom shelf in the plant room. And while I didn't cover all of the plants in here, I got through a bulk majority of them. And last but not least is my, when like the back of the plant just doesn't look as good as the front. Oh my gosh, it has grown so much this year. When I first planted it, it was all the way down to here, barely over the top of the planter. And look at how much it's grown. It's almost time to extend the pole. And she literally grows like a weed. I need to water it, so please excuse the slightly curled leaves. Also sits in the south-facing window, and so pretty. Definitely a top 10. All right, so now that you've seen a bunch of the plants in the plant room, I'm gonna keep you updated on the Esquilita, my brain is not working, Esquilito. But now it's time to go repot some plants, take you along with me. So now we are going to repot the Euphorbia Royal Red. She is so cute. I found her for only $6.98 JPY, which I don't know what the conversion rate is right now, but basically around $5 or so. As you can see, and I haven't watered her since I got her almost 2 weeks ago. The soil is still very moist and it's very thick. Like, this is not the type of soil that I would want it to be sitting in long term. The other thing about soil that your plant comes in at the store, it's not the soil that your plant is supposed to be in long term. It is our responsibility as gardeners to create a soil mix that really is going to help the plant not only thrive for its own needs, but also thrive in our own conditions. Let's get started. In order to obviously repot this, you're going to need a new planter to go in. The roots are not coming out the bottom, so I don't need to size up. I've just bought a comparable size and it's going to go in here. And then after that, it's gonna go in the plant room, which we just did a tour of, or like micro tour of. You need the planter it's gonna go in. And then for me, I always have a trash bag or one of those grocery store bags to throw the old soil away in. There have been one too many times where I go to do a repot and as soon as the soil hits the old soil that the plant came in, hits the ground, ants go everywhere. I don't know if that's just a problem here in Okinawa, but happened twice and I said no more. So now I pour the soil directly into a disposable bag. Normally I have my potting mat down, but this is such a small repot and this is just a quick video, so I did not put out my potting mat. But I will link the potting mat below because it is a lifesaver, especially with big plants and you're trying really not to make a mess, or if you have to repot inside, and you can just roll it up and then dump the soil. Also need your soil mix. So this is the soil mix I created. It is the Jima Garden Sandy Mix. So it's super gritty, very well draining, and it's much more dimensional than this generic dirt. Normally, I recommend wearing gloves whenever you're handling plants, and make sure that you wash your hands after handling plants, before eating, drinking, touching your skin, and that's for your own protection. Right now I'm not wearing gloves, but I recommend to do so. So you're gonna wanna very gently tap the soil out, and then when you can, just gently remove it. Now there's a couple trains of thought about removing the soil from the roots. The more you mess with the roots, the more likely your plant is to go into shock. I just realized that these are crooked and that's okay, it's life. So the more you mess with the roots, the more likely your plant is to go into shock. And of course we want to minimize shock as best as we can, but we also want to prep the plant for its best possible success. If there is all sorts of like gunk and styrofoam or a death pod wrapped around those roots, it doesn't matter if you put it into a good soil, that is going to end up hindering the roots. So in this situation, I'm not going to aggressively mess with the roots, but I am going to loosen it up a little bit to try to get some of this off of the root ball. All right, so I'm just gonna call it done with that. It's loosened, but it still has some of the original soil on. And now I'm going to set it aside and put some of the soil in here. Turns out I can't talk and repot at the same time. Never try to like push the plant down. Like, I try not to push the soil too much onto the roots because I really don't want to promote soil becoming compacted, but I do think it's important to lightly press it down just so that it's in place. So as you can see, it's in place right now. It's leaning a little bit, so I'm going to put in a bit more soil and then pat down the soil slightly so that way it can be strained out. right, there we go. She is done and good to go. There is about 2.5 inches of space from the top, and that's because the roots were small. And so I don't want to plant the roots all the way up here and have 3 inches of empty soil, because that can lead to root rot. So I planted it a little bit lower, and then as the roots, whenever they come out the drainage hole, basically my size up will be just moving the plant up in this container and giving it more space at the bottom. After that, then I would go up a planter size. So that is one solution if you don't have a small enough planter. So hopefully you can plant to see it grow it lower. We're so excited for this to keep growing. Gonna go. There's already baby window leaves coming through near the bottom. Next week, we are going to repot the Thai constellation. She is definitely overdue for a repot, and the biggest thing is repotting before this next leaf comes out, because I really don't want to disrupt the growing cycle. And we're going to do a slightly smaller size up since it is winter. We are also going to build a oh my gosh, I cannot talk, a hydroponic system together. I got one for Christmas. I'm super excited to use it. Not only will we put it together, but we'll also track its growth together. I'll link the product below, and then if you want to get one and follow along with me and, I don't know, be hydronic. Why can I not say that word? Hydroponics twins. The link is below. And yeah, let me know if you get it so I know who's doing it along with me, and happy gardening! New videos every Friday. Like and subscribe, send to a friend, and I'm just so excited for this journey.